In Yom Machmadim, Sichas Kodesh from Rabbi Yaakov Meir Shechter, shlyt of Zayin Gesund, brings down in Perek Yud, Shabbos Kodesh, Nafshi Cholos Avasecha, page Kuf Aleph, 101. He says that the Baal Shem Tov brings down, the Baal Shem Tov Schus Yogan Aleinu brings down an Eitzah Nefla, a wondrous piece of advice that only the Baal Shem Tov, Baal Shem Tov HaKadosh Yachol Los Eitzah Kazais. Only the Baal Shem Tov HaKadosh can give such an Eitzah. Hayozeh Kasher Hegi El Baal Shem Tov. There was a story. Somebody came to the Baal Shem Tov, Adam Shavur Umaduka Kecheres HaNishbar. A person was broken, tzibrochen, like a broken vessel. Machma Shebnoi Yotzel L'tar B'Sra V'Hishtamed Rachmana Litzlan. He had a son that went off the derech. Not only that, he became Christian. Rachmana Litzlan. Who could possibly fathom the depth of pain of such parents in such a tzara, such a terrible, terrible pain? And this Jew, he stood weeping in front of the Baal Shem Tov and he screamed out, he cried out, Rebbe, Tenu Eitzah, give me advice, Tenu Eitzah. And I cannot deal with the pain. What can I do to bring my child back to me? The Baal Shem Tov said the following: I only have one eitzah for you. Only one piece of advice. You should take in the love that you have for this child into your heart. You're feeling hatred, you're feeling pain, you're feeling shame. And the love is like on the outside, right? You should open your heart and bring it inside. Ahava gedola, such great, tremendous love, b'li mitzarim, without boundaries. Not conditional. Don't let anything get in the way. And it should be b'li mitzarim, without any boundaries. V'tiska geya a love, and you should yearn for your child. And that's the way to pull him out from the clutch of the klipos. Eitzah meha Baal Shem Tov. It's interesting that we have this from the Chazon Ish, and we have Reb Gershon Edelson shlyt of Zayin Gesund, and he says, Zui hatrufa hayichida. You're never going to find one problem that everybody says there's no other solution. You could try this. But the Baal Shem Tov says, and the Chazon Ish said, and Reb Gershon brings it out, he says, you could search high and low. Zui hatrufa hayichida. All the other things that are involved in the sugya of pulling your kid out of their spiritual mess is all from the Goyim. It's all just getting in the way of the only eitzah that any gadol, and I have a collection of thousands, no gadol said differently. The person has cancer, you have radiation, you have chemo, you have to deal with it. This is spiritual cancer, and he says that the chemo for this is only one thing. Open your heart to feel tremendous love, that you're yearning for him. I miss him, I love him. Figure out how to do that. All this other stuff is getting in the way of that. All the fighting, all the arguing, all the things that we say and that get us aggravated and frustration, it's very real. This isn't easy. But he says this is the only medicine to heal the cancer. That's why all the things that we do, and people don't understand, what about the rules, the consequences, boundaries? The kid has cancer. And the only thing is love. And that, because of the way that the kid internalizes those beautiful things that we do with rules, consequences, and boundaries, and they don't appreciate it, it blocks the IV drip of the only thing that could save them. So why would you let anything get in the way? So I always tell parents, you have a track record, and you can look back, or you could do something. Say, please don't come in the house dressed like that. And then look, did the relationship, did the ahava go down in the connection between you? 90, 80, 70, did it drop? Are they angry at you now? Are you feeling frustrated and anger towards them? That's killing the whole medicine. This is the only part of it that actually helps. And when they get better, all the problems that you're frustrated about go away on its own. Because they're better. And this was not just a boy who was Nebuch doing Averis, but not just Chil Shabbos, he shmad. He became Christian. And only one thing, love. Love somehow became a full letter, like a dirty word. We think it's an American concept. No, this is a Torah concept. Ahava, also full letters. Ahava, love, hi haneshek hagodol v'hamoil b'yoser. It is the greatest weapon. It's a weapon of mass, not destruction, construction. Right? And it's the only thing that works. Lehoy v'sazulas b'simcha. To love somebody else with simcha. Being happy with them. L'doinoi l'kav schus. To be dan people l'kav schus. L'oir ahava a love. To awaken love towards that other person. V'zeh inyan achel hagamri. Ki oz li nitfas etzli ra'ayin. Because then you're not going to feel down towards them, dark towards them. Love is the only thing that works, as we have seen. All this other stuff, telling them, advising them, is dealing while somebody is sick, dealing with them and not healing them. And it perpetuates the sickness, and it makes it go longer and longer. And without giving away identity, we have a woman sitting here today, like I just told you before. If anybody a few years ago would have wanted to take, what are the odds that her son would be keeping Shabbos today? I don't think it was 1 in 100. Al pi teva, impossible. We're not going to get into all the bad, horrible places that he ended up, but because of her tremendous love and dedication, he's Shem Shabbos today. Yeah. Beyond. Everybody in this room is going through tsaris and all have difficult cases. But his case is one of the worst ever. If he can come back, anybody can come back. So what brings them back? Not the rules and not the boundaries and not the I'm not proud of you and looking down and this isn't okay and all of that judgment. He says, Bidal l'kav schus. When you're down l'kav schus, then you're not looking down at the person. And it's not getting in the way of the pure, unadulterated love that is the most powerful thing in the world. Shlomo Melech says, Ki aza kamaves ahava. Love is as strong as death. So the Stipler is, what does it mean? What does love have to do with death? So he answers that just like when it's time to die, nothing could stop death. So too, he says, love, nothing could stop love. And love is the only thing that brings people back to Hashem. Now, it happens to be that a lot of people who come here, almost everybody, they're not just dealing with a spiritual problem. They're dealing with an emotional problem. Drugs and violence and depression, anxiety, eating disorders, and all of this stuff. Actually, I've proven that there is no spiritual problem. If you deleted all the pain that they went through, they're frummer than we are. And that's our job, to take away the pain. And what takes away the pain of a child? Feeling loved and appreciated. And we take away our love, shining our love to the kids who are the most vulnerable. They went through so much, they're stabbed, they have internal bleeding. That causes them, and it's already proven, causes them to not be able to function properly, which causes them to look for pleasure anywhere they can. So the skirts get shorter and the everything, the yarmulke comes off and they're going through a dark time. And then a lot of parents take away my pride from you. I'm no longer proud of you. And that hurts them more than all the pain that they got, because they feel abandoned by my mother and my father. And if you speak to the kids, that's what it is. And we've lost so many kids in Klal Yisrael. Thousands of suicides and overdoses from kids who felt abandoned by their mom and dad. And we need everybody. We need aunts and uncles. Everybody has to be part of fixing the problem. Because you could have 100 people in the family and they get one look from a cousin, from somebody who says something stupid, and it kills them. We had a kid who came into a chasana after 2 years of rehabilitation. The rehabilitation was TP parents being here doing TP. That was it. And the kid went from being homeless to moving home, being at home, from being dark and depressed and in their room and in his room and stuck and all, to being happy. And his mamish came to a place where he had a family wedding and he said, I'm going to the wedding. He took a haircut. And no, he didn't look like the rest of the family when he came in. He even put on a necklace specifically to dress up. Now, he grew up like us. He should have known. People don't understand the sugya. They don't understand. And he looked very different in a basically light gray suit. And, but he went. Just today, a parent showed me a picture of their daughter. Does not look frum, does not look Jewish. And they said, wow, this is the first time in over 2 years that she went shopping. For us, this is the greatest thing. She was locked in her room for a year and a half. They came here a couple months ago. And now she went into a store. And somebody else in the store can go ahead and say, Shiksa, and say, what are you doing here? You come dressed like that. They don't realize that these are trauma victims, that they're finally getting out of bed, and they look down at them. And they don't do any of the stuff that the Gedalim did. They don't have an ayin tova, they have an ayin ra. They look down, they're judging negatively. They say, no, I'm not judging negatively. Yeah, it's not dan l'kavschus, and it's a sugya that we all need to know. So one person can ruin it. If one person would have gone over to her in the store and said, you couldn't dress nicely to come to a frum shopping center, that's it. Most dangerous thing. She could have fallen back into depression. She could have had 2 years away from becoming Shem Shabbos, and all those averis for 2 years go on the cheshbon of that person, and he doesn't even know, and he thinks he's doing God's work. Medrash Sifri says, Kol hagoyim takala lechaveroi, whoever causes someone to stumble, hu nichnas tachtav l'chol einshim, he gets replaced on the credit card bill. All the einshim for all the averis go to that person. Peliyah, it says, bottom line is, this guy came in, and everybody was nice, except one guy went over to him and said, so you're trying to make everybody look at you? You want to get everybody's attention? You couldn't get a dark suit, or whatever he said to him with a snarky. And the guy left, and he stuck a needle in his arm. And he was back on heroin after being clean for months. He was very vulnerable. And where did he get this from? Ahava is the only neshek which is authentic Torah medication and the way to deal with other people. And Siva Shalom says, Musar and Chasidus, when you learn it, it's meant for yourself, not for somebody else. We get a little bit firmer, we start being upset at other people that they're not from. We go to a tznius class, we start seeing everybody else's lack of tznius. We go to a Chasidus class and we see, Hashem is amazing, and we feel so close to Hashem, so we start looking down at all the people who aren't on our level. That's the biggest trick of the Yetzer Hara, because there's nothing Hashem hates more than somebody who's a Balgaiva. And you're using it to think, I'm better than somebody else. We have so many shtiklach Torah, now's not the place. Musar and Chasidus says in the Siva Shalom, it's for you to improve yourself, not to start becoming somebody who looks down at other people who aren't zeicha to your high level. So that's what we have to remember from this Baal Shem Tov. We have to ingrain it. It's a very, very big shame that we have Hasidim, especially, that the whole Hasidus and every Hasidus, as different as you think you are, from Lubavitch to Southmere and everywhere in between, you're all coming from one Sheirish, the Baal Shem Tov. And he said these words, only love, only love, only love. And we have Hasidic people who are merachik, Jews doing the opposite, and they can't believe that why it's not working. And they cause destruction. Now the Litvish are not off the hook. The Chazon Ish said the same thing. 7 words. Try to pull them in with ropes of love. You don't need the person. You don't control the other person. You control yourself. So you can pull somebody, you know how hard it is to move somebody's mindset from atheist to believing in God, from Christian to being from Mechal Shabbos to wanting to keep Shabbos. And in our sugya, because it's all the same path, from wanting to die to not wanting to die, from facing down into to wanting to live and wanting to build a life, wanting to get married, wanting to be part of our community. Wow, that's a lot of Mashiach of Ahava. Only you can do that. And as long as you don't do that, you can give great gift bombs and time bombs, and you got to try that. But it's all in here. You're not giving you. Rahmana libabai. God needs your heart. Your kids need your heart. And that comes with understanding trauma, so that way it helps you not look down at them. Some people are natural. Some people just don't look down at anybody. They see somebody not behaving properly, and they automatically understand that that person has a reason. They probably went through something, and whatever it is, or let's say they're a Russia. So how do you deal with a Russia? Love. There is no other way. Our job is to love every single person, not make a cheshbon of why they're doing it, how come they're doing it, and believe me, I'm doing this for 20 years. And if you go to these people who are annoying you and frustrating you from people, and you go ahead and you hypnotize them, so they'll tell you their whole story of pain. They have so much pain in them. They have so much pain in them. If we injected it into our veins for 30 seconds, we would be much worse than them. We would go crazy. We'd be cursing Hashem much more than they are. Bidan lekaf schus. Nobody's saying, I wish I was in the next Gilgal, please send me down like these kids. Nobody wants to be them. But really the Nisayan is not what they're going through. The Nisayan is on us, that we shouldn't lose our ayin toif, that we shouldn't lose the ability to love every single person. And we do it naturally with someone who's a tinnik shenishba, somebody who grew up not from, in public school, we love them. And what about a tinnik shenishbar? Somebody who's broken, our own kids. We have to do this for all of our children, those who are from, those who are struggling, those who are challenging, those who are OTD, what they call, which doesn't exist, no matter what. There is nothing else. So you have to look at when you see somebody that's causing you to judge them, that's my Nisayan. I just found my Nisayan. It's hard for me not to judge that person. And you have to work on yourself to be an Oyev Yisrael. Lehoiv Eskol Yehudi, to love every single Jew, regardless of what their behavior is. And when you can do that, and you have these holy, pure, beautiful eyes, your kids will become close to you like a magnet. Like a magnet. Everywhere you go, you'll attract those kids. The kids on the street, they are like pulled, drawn to certain people out there, that they're just so non-judgmental. When we do that, we will save every single kid be'ezus Hashem. And that's the job of us and our dar. This is the chanoich l'dar al pi darkoi. This is the education that we need for ourselves. Hashem obviously wants us, all the frum people, the frummies, right? The black hatters, the black and white. He wants us to be judged, to be challenged, to see if we can love every Jew. And he gave us this Nisayan. It's not them. These kids are mamish. Whether you call them Einis, whether you call them, it doesn't matter what you call them, they're so tzamished. It's all upside down. And the only medicine is love. So the challenge is not what they're going through. That's their nebuch. I don't know why they were chosen. What did they do in a previous Gilgal to come down for this? It's hard to understand. What a terrible life they have. But the challenge is on each one of us. And we have to make sure we start with some people look down at people who are from. Some people look down at people. We have to have zero looking down at anybody, no matter what they do. And with that, we could save every single Yid and everybody in their family and everybody in your community. And you're going to be like a magnet for all these souls that need acceptance and love, like we've proven over and over and over and over.